had been this force of fear, this force that in the last avatar we call the Archons. Now the Archons is a concept, metaphor, that comes from the Gnostic tradition. The Gnostic tradition goes way back into Egypt and weaves itself particularly through Gnostic groups, early Christianity, such as the Cathars of France, and even into the Kabbalistic tradition of the Hebrews. And it's about direct experiential knowing. And in this Gnostic tradition, particularly they talk about it in the early Christian tradition, they talked about, they were looking at, well, why so much pain and suffering? How did this happen? And how could there be a God, a loving God that could allow this? So they came up with this concept of the Archons. And the Archons, the story is about Sophia, the great goddess Sophia, who becomes the earth. She actually, her body, she comes down from the aeons, from these luminous realms, and she becomes the earth itself. And during that passage, there's like this dross, this excess that's flowing off of her. And it turns into these unreal soulless beings. So, and that is one depiction of the Archons. But from another perspective, and the scholar John Lam Lash often talks about the Archons as these psychic parasites, like a virus that embeds itself into our luminous fields, into our psyches, into our emotions, into our physical bodies, causing extreme pain. These alien parasites that actually feed off of our negative emotions and do whatever they can to engender these emotions within us. But if you look from a higher perspective, you could say that they're just our karma, aspects of our own actions that we need to clear. We are all in this duality, dark and light, that exists. We're in duality. And in this time of awakening, in this time of coming forth into a much more subtle vibration and understanding, we need to embrace the archonic aspects of ourselves. Think about it, if there's families where there's a lot of anger. You can see it, the imprints of that anger, going down from generation to generation to generation. I call those archonic imprints. But once we awaken, we actually realize that that is not us. Those archons are not us, not our essential self. They may be our relative being. They may be aspects of our karma, but they're not really that light, that beauty that exists deep in each of our hearts, the enlightened self. They're not that. We can just wash them away. And there's many teachings from many traditions to help us not only perceive them, but to free ourselves from the archonic problems. Now, many people would say that the big tool of the archons is technology. It's a fake. They create fake realities, soulless realities, and that the whole transhumanist movement itself is a movement towards soullessness and to bring your consciousness into a machine. Consciousness is consciousness. It's something that we need to contemplate about where we're headed as a species.